Yo, what is up, Sexy Beast? Crazy Rabbit here, and today we're going to be doing the top 10 best LMGs and zombies. That's everything from World War to Black Ops 3, and for this list, I'm going to have one rule, and that's we have to at least include 2 LMGs from every single game. So everything from World War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, and Black Ops 3. And the main reason I'm doing that is just so this entire list isn't Black Ops 3 weapons, because as we all know, in general, Black Ops 3 weapons tend to be a little bit better than the old school ones. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right into this and take the number 10 spot. It's going to be the RPK from Black Ops 1, or when upgraded to the R115 Resonator. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys, the only reason the Black Ops 1 weapons are on here is because I have to at least include 2 guns from that game, and the RPK and the HK21 are your only options, so the RPK fell in at number 10. It's really not that good of an LMG. It does carry a fuck ton of ammo, so when upgraded it's going to carry 400 in stock and 100 in the magazine, and when you actually upgrade it, it's going to carry 500 in stock and 125 in the magazine, so it does carry a pretty decent amount of ammo. And when it comes to speed, this thing isn't like the Browning or anything, it's actually pretty fast. It's got a decent reload time, it's got a decent rate of fire, it's a little bit faster than the MP40, but not quite up there with the Thompson, so it's a pretty decent gun when it comes to speed overall. But where it really lacks is just damage. It's definitely not as powerful as the HK21, and even the HK21 isn't that powerful of a weapon, so the RPK does kind of lack in a lot of things, but it still is a really good weapon on early rounds. It carries a lot of ammo, it's got a really fast fire rate, and it's going to last you, I would say, up until like the 20s. After that, you might want to start looking towards other weapons to actually take out the zombies, because their health is just going to be way too high, and you're going to find yourself using more and more ammo on them, so that's why I put the RPK at number 10. Alright, taking the number 9 spot is going to be the HK21 from Black Ops 1, or when upgraded to the H115 Oscillator. Did you guys really even have to guess where this was going to be? There's only 2 LMGs and zombies from Black Ops 1 they can actually put on this list, and of course they're going to be 9 and 10 because, in general, I say it all the time, Black Ops 1 weapons fucking suck. They're god-awful, they really don't do that much damage, and they carry like little to no ammo. But when it comes to which one would I prefer, the HK21 or the RPK, you gotta give it to the HK21. It's gonna carry more ammo in the long run. Unupgraded, it's gonna carry 500 in stock and 125 in the magazine. And when you actually upgrade it, it's gonna carry 750 in stock and 150 in the magazine. And it's also gonna do more damage. The only thing it lacks compared to the RPK is the fire rate. It's gonna be a little bit slower. It's actually gonna be slower than the MP40. So in speed-wise, it's gonna lose to the RPK, but it's gonna last you a lot longer because it carries more ammo and it actually does more damage. And that's why I decided to put this one at number 9. Alright, and coming in at number 8 is going to be the MG42, or when upgraded to the Barracuda FU-A11. Now, I had a tough decision. I was like, okay, which one do I put here? Do I put the Browning or the MG42? And I kind of ultimately decided that I think the MG42 deserves to be in this spot. Now, let me tell you why. When it comes to damage, they're basically about the same. When it comes to fire rate, I'm pretty sure we all know that the MG42's fire rate is absolutely insane. It has one of the fastest fire rates in zombies. It's absolutely incredible. Damage-wise, this and the Browning aren't really, up there with some of the greats. They're more on the lower end of the damage scale, but they both do carry a lot of ammo. The MG42 unupgraded is going to carry 500 in stock and 125 in the magazine, and when you actually upgrade it, it's going to carry 750 in stock and 125 in the magazine, so it does carry a lot of ammo. Now the reason I picked this over the Browning is just because speed. Everything else, they're the exact same, damage and ammo, but when it comes to like reload speed and overall fire rate, the MG42 is going to win, and that's why I decided to put it here instead of the Browning. The Browning is a good LMG, but if I had to pick the MG42 or the Browning, I'm going to go with the MG42 every single time. And also, the MG42 doesn't have that stupid rectangle in front of your sight to where you can't even see half the time. So that's why I think the MG42 definitely deserves the number 8 spot. Alright, and taking the number 7 spot is going to be the FG42 from World War, or when upgraded to the 420 Impaler. Now, I absolutely love the FG42. It has an insane fire rate. It's actually right up there with the Thompson. When you actually pack punch it, it's a little bit faster than the Thompson. And in the Reese, it actually carried the most ammo out of every single WAW weapon, so unupgraded, it's going to carry 192 in stock and 32 in the magazine, and when you actually back punch it, it's going to carry 400 in stock and 64 in the magazine, which when you actually take a look back at World War standards, is a lot of ammo for a WAW weapon. I mean, it's really incredible. Nowadays, your average box weapon just carries that, but when you look at World War and Black Ops WAW weapons, and even some weapons nowadays, that's a lot of ammo for a WAW weapon. Now, damage-wise, it's really not incredibly high up there, but I definitely think this deserves number 7 spot and should be ahead of the 8, 9, and 10 spot because it's a WAW weapon and it carries a lot of ammo, and you can always go back and get more ammo. It's got an insane fire rate. Damage-wise, it's about I wouldn't really say it's too high up there or too low down there. And it also really doesn't have any of the cons that an LMG usually has. It doesn't have a slow mobility and doesn't have a slow reload speed. And really the only thing kind of holding this back from being higher up on the list is just its damage and its overall ammo. You're constantly going to have to be going back and getting more ammo because if we're taking out the wall weapon situation, it really doesn't carry that much and its damage isn't really anything impressive. So that's why I think it deserves the number 7 spot. Alright, and taking the number 6 spot is going to be the hammer from Black Ops 2, or when upgraded to the sledgehammer. The unupgraded hammer is going to be abysmal. That recoil is so bad, and it's really what kind of pushed me off from this weapon for years. I never really would touch this weapon just because the hammer unupgraded is god-awful when it comes to recoil. It's going all over the place. But when you actually do upgrade it, it becomes pretty manageable. So the unupgraded hammer is going to carry 375 in stock and 125 in the magazine, which when it comes to LMGs, if you look at the grand scheme of things, isn't really anything impressive. When we actually upgrade it, it's going to carry 625 in stock and 125 in the magazine, which is about 100 shots less than your average LMG, so when it comes to ammo, it's kind of lacking. But when it comes to how much power this thing can actually punch out, it does a pretty decent amount, and I would definitely say when it comes to just pure damage, not looking at anything else, this is one of the best LMGs. It really does a lot of damage compared to everything else. Now, an interesting fact about the hammer is for the first 7 rounds fired for both the unupgraded version and the upgraded version, it's going to have a fire rate pretty close to the Thompson, but after those first 7 rounds have been shot, its fire rate is going to go back down to the MP40, so its fire rate isn't really anything to be proud of. Now, unlike the MG42 and the Browning, this thing isn't really going to make you run slow as hell. You can actually run pretty fast with it, and on high rounds, it's actually going to be pretty good. You can actually get a lot of kills with it. Now, the reason I decided to put it at number 6 and not higher in the list is because when it comes to ammo, it's kind of lacking, and also the unupgraded hammer recoil is just god-awful, and I hate it so much. I might be a little bit of biased or unbiased, I'm not sure which the correct term for that is going to be, but with all that negativity, I'm still going to acknowledge how good the sledgehammer actually is, and it's an amazing LMG, and it's really, really fucking powerful. Alright, I'd take the number 5 spot is going to be the RPD from Black Ops 2, or when upgraded to the relativistic punishment device. God, I hope I pronounced that right, or the comment section's going to chew me a new asshole. So the RPD is actually a pretty good weapon. Sadly, it was only in Nuketown and Die Rise, I believe. You couldn't get it in any other map, which kind of sucks because Die Rise is a huge piece of shit. And Nuketown's a fun map to play, but you're really not going to be sitting there playing it 24/7. It's not like the Reast where you can just constantly go back and keep playing it. But even though the RPD was on some shit maps, it still is a really good LMG. Unupgraded, it's going to carry 400 in stock and 100 in the magazine, which is about average for an LMG. And when you actually upgrade it, it's going to carry 750 in stock and 125 in the magazine, which when it comes to ammo is definitely on the higher end of all the LMGs. Now when it comes to fire rate, its fire rate's actually going to be a little bit faster than the MP40 and a little bit slower than the Thompson. It's kind of like right in the middle, just to give you guys an idea. And when it comes to overall strength, it is a little bit weaker than the hammer, but I decided to put this one at number 5 because it carries a lot more ammo and has a faster fire rate, and you don't have to deal with the god-awful recoil. And when I used both of these on round 50, I felt like I was getting a lot more kills with the RPD than I actually was with the hammer. Hammer's a great weapon, it's absolutely fantastic, but I definitely do think that the RPD is a superior LMG when it comes to the two. And I really do think that the RPD is your benchmark goal for an average LMG, so that's why I put it at number 5. Alright, and taking number 4 spot is going to be the LSAT. Come on now, you guys all knew this was going to be here. The LSAT from Black Ops 2, or when upgraded to the FSIRT, or the FSIRT. I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce that one. Sadly, this was only available in Nuketown, Mob of the Dead, and Buried. You could not get it in Origins, which I feel like would have been a really good map for it, but sadly you cannot. And if you actually are playing on Buried, you can actually get this as a wall weapon, which is kind of why I put it at number 4. It's not the definite reason, but it did help the LSAT's cause. So unupgraded, the LSAT is going to carry 400 in stock and 100 in the magazine, and when you actually pack a punch, it's going to carry 600 in stock and 100 in the magazine, so a little bit less than the RPD. And when it comes to fire rate, this and the RPD are actually going to be tied, and when it comes to overall power, the LSAT is going to be victorious there. So the LSAT really kind of surprised me when I first used it on round 50. Up until I would say like the middle of Black Ops 2, I really had just no faith in LMGs whatsoever. I mean, we had the MG42, which was absolutely amazing, but it's only really good for camping up on the catwalk to like round 20 or something. Then you have Black Ops 1 weapons, which were a huge pile of shit, and at that point I kind of just gave up on LMGs. If I saw an LMG, I'd like wave to it on the other side of the road, or if it was like walking down the same side of the street that I'm on, I would like cross sidewalks real quick just so I don't have to be on the same sidewalk as it. I just really tended to avoid LMGs because I didn't think they were that good, and the LSAT kind of really changed my mind. When I actually did use it on round 50, I was pleasantly surprised that it was actually really fucking good, especially compared to a lot of other weapons that I was using at the time. The LSAT is definitely one of the best, and on round 50, it can actually do some work. And it really does help that in Buried it's actually a wall weapon. It's not placed in the optimal location, but it still is a wall weapon, so that's why I decided to put this one at number 4. Alright, and taking number 3 spot, this one was actually a toss-up. I didn't know whether I should put the 48 Dredge here or the Gorgan here, and I ultimately decided that I think the Gorgan deserves this spot. Let me tell you why. So the Gorgan is definitely the most powerful LMG we've had in zombies. It does a lot of damage. Just imagine like the hammer, which was really up there in damage, and kind of double that, and that's when you get the Gorgan, or when you upgrade it to the Athena Spear. Now the Gorgan isn't a perfect weapon, it does have some faults. Its fire rate is pretty shit, it doesn't really have a fast fire rate whatsoever, and its overall ammo isn't really anything to gloat about. Unupgraded it's going to carry 250 in stock and 50 in the magazine, and upgraded it's going to carry 500 in stock and 100 in the magazine, which isn't really that good compared to a lot of other LMGs we've actually seen on this list, which almost carry 1,000 bullets compared to this, which is like carrying 600. But given all those faults, this thing makes up for it in overall damage and can kick some serious zombie ass on high rounds. Just look at this thing on round 50. It doesn't kill right away, but just get him in a straight line, unload a couple shots into him, and you'll just start noticing them fall over one by one. This thing on high rounds is absolutely amazing. Now, unfortunately, it is an LMG, so you do have to deal with the slow movement and the slow reload time, but if you can put up with that, the Gorgan is a fantastic weapon. I would just immediately pack a punch it, don't even try to play around with just the regular Gorgan, immediately get it upgraded to the Athena Spear, and you have yourself a badass weapon. Alright, now taking the number 2 spot, this one really made me think. I didn't know whether I should put the MG08 for number 2 or the DINGO for number 2 and the MG08 for number 1 or the DINGO for number 1, and I had to sit down and think. If I was in a boss fight or if I was going for high rounds, which one would I want? And I ultimately decided that the MG08 from Black Ops 3 deserves the number 2 spot. The MG08 is one of my favorite weapons in Zombies history. Even if we're playing Black Ops 2, I still love that MG08. It's a little bit different from the Black Ops 3 version. If you guys want to see more about that, click on the annotation on screen. I compare both the Black Ops 2 and the Black Ops 3 version, but we're going to be talking about the Black Ops 3 one. So the MG0815, or when upgraded to the Magna Collider, is going to be a really good LMG, and even on high rounds, it's going to be absolutely amazing. Unupgraded, this thing's going to carry 400 in stock and 100 in the magazine, and when you actually upgrade it, it's going to carry 600 in stock and 100 in the magazine. So when it comes to what it can carry in the magazine, nothing really changed there, and actually just gained 200 more bullets. So it's not up there with the best in terms of ammo, but it's definitely close. And when it comes to overall speed, you wouldn't even think that this thing is an LMG. When it comes to mobility and reload speed, this thing is actually pretty fucking quick. It's actually up there with some of the assault rifles. And when it comes to overall damage, it's sitting right up there next to the hammer, so this thing really doesn't lack in any department. And on round 50, it's going to be really, really good. So the Black Ops 2 version was okay on round 50, it wasn't the best, but it was pretty decent. And I was expecting the Black Ops 3 version to be pretty much the exact same thing. But when I actually used it, I was pleasantly surprised. It had exceeded all the expectations that the Black Ops 2 version had set for it. And as soon as I started using it on round 50, I was like, the DINGO has some competition, because up until then, I'm pretty sure we can all agree the DINGO was the go-to LMG. But now, I definitely got to give it to the MG08, it's giving the DINGO a run for its money. So that's why I decided to put the MG08 from Black Ops 3 at number 2. Alright, so now let's get on to the number 1 spot, the DINGO, or when upgraded to the Dire Wolf. I'm pretty sure you guys all knew this was at least going to be in the top 3 if you didn't already know it was going to be number 1. The DINGO, in my opinion, is the best LMG we have in Zombies today. When it comes to overall power, this thing is only a little bit behind the Gorgan, and this thing's fire rate is actually a little bit faster, okay, a lot faster than the Gorgan. When it comes to overall ammo, unupgraded, it's going to carry about 480 in stock and 80 in the magazine, and when you actually upgrade it, its numbers are going to be very similar to the MG08. It's going to carry 600 in stock and 120 in the magazine, so only 20 more bullets. And when it comes to overall speed, it's going to be relatively quick compared to a lot of other LMGs we've had in Zombies. So I would just say all around, the DINGO is your ideal LMG. The only bad part about it is, it's not a wall weapon, and its ammo isn't really up there with the greats, but it definitely makes up for that in overall speed and damage. Just look at this thing on round 50. If you aren't aroused, you might be a straight white male, because this thing is just tearing the asses of every single zombie. Just get them in a straight line, unload on their faces, just all over the face, and you're just going to start racking up kill after kill after kill. The DINGO and probably the MG42 are really the only two LMGs I would kind of recommend you to have if you're playing zombies. These things are really good against boss zombies and even in the boss fight in the DINGO's case, and they're also really good against just regular zombies overall. The DINGO and the MG08 definitely deserve the number 2 in one spot, but the DINGO by far definitely deserves number 1. And I really hope in the future in Black Ops 4 or Black Ops 15, Treyarch keeps adding more and more LMGs that can actually rival the DINGO, and less weapons that actually rival the RPK and the HK21. So that has been it for this video, and a couple things I want to end off on. One, when it comes to my top 5s or my comparison videos, I really never take in Gobblegum and Double Pack Punch abilities, just because those aren't in every single game and it will kind of be a little bit unfair. And also, this isn't a definite top 10 list. You might have a completely different list, which is totally fine. This is my list and my own personal opinion, and is based off of how I play zombies. You might have a completely different list, which is totally fine. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys could, please leave a like. It would help support me. If you guys could, also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Discord, Pornhub. All links will be in the description. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.